Hey friends, welcome back to the Stepmoms Without Children podcast. This week we have a very sassy lady joining us. Her name is Michelle. She has a collective called Wisdom4Complex Kids. If you're looking for the website, it's Wisdom4Complex Kids. There's also a Facebook group that has a lot of information and posts from Michelle. Michelle has a 10-year-old with a rare genetic disorder, so he currently has intellectual disabilities, so something close to stepmom's heart. It's taken a while for her to get this diagnosis, and so she just wants to make it way easier for other parents with complex kids to get the care that they should be getting. In addition to mom and advocacy things, we talk about just being a woman. We talk a lot about food and restaurants. We talk about how she left Brazil as a college student to go to BYU because she is Mormon, and BYU is a very Mormon university. And so that's adjacent to me recently watching Housewives of Salt Lake City. Please enjoy Michelle Choairy Coon. Okay, so I hit record. I did a podcast once with my mom like a few weeks ago, and we had a whole podcast. Did I hit record? No, I didn't.
My God.
I know, it was so stupid. She has a lot to say, so it ended up being fine. But
you just kept going and just kept like
literally, we're trying to like talk. My whole thing, I'm really into origin stories, and so my mom is from Portugal, and so we were talking about like coming from. I know we're gonna get into it.
Oh, how fun!
And so we were talking about the Great Migration and growing up and going to school and not speaking English, and I did not hit record. And then so when I realized it, like you can see it on screen, I was like, and she just kept talking, and I was like, yeah.
That was great, Mom. Thank you for sharing.
Literally. So it was less about growing up and coming to America and more like being in high school and becoming an adult.
Yeah.
While also being an immigrant. But I hit record, and so I always make it a point to make sure I do that.
And I see the red, so I think you're good. I'm double checking you now.
So, hi listener. Usually I have a thing, but hi listener, we're here. Okay, so you, Michelle, hi, welcome.
Hey, thank you.
So my thing is, I have always been such a hater when it comes to support groups. Because I'm like, support who? Like, what, you're just going to talk about yourself to other people? And then now, present day, I'm a stepmom. I like to connect with people, other creative people. I'm on this like creative journey about like, well, you can like be creative. Like, you can just be a person and also be creative and it not be your entire personality. Yeah. And so we love a support group.
Yes.
And so that's what you have with Wisdom4Complex Kids.
I will tell you that us mamas who have the complex kids, if we don't have a support group, if you don't have a village, it will be very lonely. Yes. And it will be very hard to stick around. So, like,
I almost feel bad for, like, before the internet was in people's fingertips, like, having a complex kid, being a parent in general. And like not having like the tips and tricks that just like show up on your For You page or on your feed. Like, I feel bad for anyone.
I don't know how so, you kind of, I think that a lot of times in the past, I mean, we can go back when, but even when, I look at my mom didn't have all the resources for my brothers. Yeah. I have a brother that probably needed the resources. And, he was can I say shit? The little shit?
Girl, okay, all right. Anything you want.
He was the little shit in the house. You know what I mean? And my mom, she did the best that she could with what she had at the time. And nobody understood what that was all about. Right. Who understands that, back then?
They're like, yeah, they have a bunch of kids, but that one is such a pain in the ass.
Yeah. But he's become a great man. My mom made sure, and she did what she could, like I was saying. So, but I mean, it is.
We love a village. We love that you created a village, and we love that you created a term, complex kids, because, like, to say on the spectrum, to say autism, autistic, like, and then beyond all of the other things that people have to say, because it's not necessarily. And then, of course, there's all like the meaner words for it too. Like, complex is just exactly it.
You know, I've been working with a girl who's designing my website. And she was like, she's redoing it because, you know, I'm still in the early stages of this whole thing that I decided to do.
Yeah.
And so she was like, I think we have to define complex kids.
Do we?
And I was thinking in my head, like, if you have a complex kid, you know you have a complex kid.
Right.
So that was one of the things. I think we're still going to define a little bit on the website. But if you have one, you know what you have. Like, and I did not want to differentiate because, you know what? My kid, I didn't know what he had until 2 years ago.
Right.
He had a bunch of different diagnoses. ADHD here, childhood apraxia speech here, OCD here, blah, 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 all this stuff. And it didn't fit into the spectrum. It didn't fit into, he didn't fit. He was a complex.
Insurance companies will, you know, put you in the spectrum autism bucket just because they need something to be there. And then doctors will do it, you know, just to get something paid for by the insurance company. So diagnoses, I don't know. Those things are, it like doesn't matter because it's all about doctors and insurance companies or doctors trying to get paid by the insurance companies.
It is so true. It is so true. But, you know, it's, and this is the sad part of the healthcare system when it comes to these complex kids, right? How do you get all of the things that you can get? What are all rights under the insurance companies? And, you know, when you have a complex kid, there's actually state funded programs.
Right.
And then there's the school district that you have to do the IEPs with.
Right.
And so there's so much to know.
Right.
This is where I'm coming in. Like, I had no idea when my child went in at 3 years old into the school district. I was like, what is an IEP? I have no idea.
Right.
And then really don't even know what it is that other things that you could get that are through the state, through
it's an ever evolving thing of new things that people are inventing and resources that people are creating, like yourself, that can be available to people, that when you're a new mom to somebody that's complex, you're like, where do I start? I don't even know like what even is, you know, even like friggin' like behavior therapy and whatever the other one's called, working something, occupational therapy.
Oh, yes.
Like people like don't even know. So I have a stepson who's now 21, who's on the spectrum, but it's more they just dumped him in the autism bucket. And I always hate to say that because it's like everybody knows somebody that's autistic, but that doesn't mean that like my kid is the same as the person that you know. No. You know what I mean? So sometimes they're just like, does he talk? Bro, yes, he talks and he swears and he's a pain in the ass. And when I say things like he's a pain in the ass, people are like, oh, it's not just, he can still be a pain in the ass and be on the spectrum at the same time.
Sometimes they're even more.
Okay, sometimes you need a vacation from them. Get out of here. But so I want to talk about your Brazilian.
Oh, yes.
Cousin.
Oh, hello, cousin.
And so we have a couple parallels. Obviously, I don't speak Portuguese. I wish I did. I'm just too shy. In my head, fluent, honey. Loud, I'm like, I don't want to say it because what if I say it wrong? But you posted something about year anniversary since your vavá died. And so, sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It was actually my mom, vavá to the kids. So, yes.
And her name was Pia.
Well, her name was a very long name, but she went by Vovó Pia. So that's what we called her.
So my niece is named Pia. And so when I saw Vovó Pia, I was like, aw.
I like that.
Yes, little Pia Lunette.
there's a lot in common here. Come
yes,
on.
I
What
looked
is
for
going on?
parallels. I searched the website and listened to a couple podcasts that you were on, and my favorite one was Vovopia. I was like, oh, my niece.
Yes.
So that's a cool thing. So you went to college it was sports medicine.
That's right.
Were you an athlete? Were you just into medical? Did you like the Hawkeyes? What was happening?
I think all of the above. Can we say that?
Yes.
Especially the last one.
Okay.
So, I came from Brazil and I was actually a dancer. I was a ballerina my whole life. And I got to college here and I tried out for the dance team and I made it and it was great. And then didn't want to major in dance because my dad was helping me be here and go to school, to go to a college in the US. If I called him and said, I'm going to school so I can get a dance degree,
he would have said,
I mean, come home.
Okay.
You got one here already.
All I heard is you're coming home.
Yes, exactly. So I looked for something. I was always into helping people. You broke your ankle. Oh, that's interesting. So I got into sports medicine, which was something that we did not have in Brazil back then. And, I did go to school here with the intention of going back to Brazil. Okay. And then things just kind of, I don't know, I ended up getting a scholarship for my master's program. So I was like, I'll go one more year, and then I ended up in Indiana for a year.
Whoa. Hold on. When you were in college, when you first got here, what state was that?
It was Pocatello, Idaho was where I lived.
Girl.
A Brazilian girl that came to Pocatello, Idaho.
Yeah.
I grew up Mormon. My whole family, they were all Mormons in Brazil.
What?
Yeah, I know, huh?
They have Mormons in Brazil?
Lots of them, girl. There's lots. Yes, there's a lot of them.
That's crazy.
I don't practice anymore, but that's how my connection worked from Brazil to Pocatello, Idaho.
Okay.
And I ended up going to a church school. It was a Mormon school. Oh, back then it was called Rick's College. Now it's called BYU Idaho. So it's Brigham Young University, Idaho. And I actually graduated from Brigham Young in Provo. After that was when I went to Indiana and I was 10 months there. Nothing against Indiana. It just was not my cup of tea. Yeah. I couldn't get out of there fast enough.
She said, let me hurry up and graduate.
I finished it in 10 months. It was supposed to be a 12-month program. After 10 months, I was like, I got all my credits. I am done. See ya.
Gotta go. Bye.
I'll finish my thesis as on the computer on my next
the plane
job.
Ride home.
Yes, exactly.
And then so from Indiana, where did you go?
I went back to Utah.
Okay.
My boyfriend was there. That's a whole other story. That we don't need to go into that. Yes. Right. So I went back to Utah and I worked as the head athletic trainer at a high school for 6 years.
Wow.
And I also, part of my job was also to be a physical therapy clinic. So I saw patients in the morning and then I would go to the high school in the afternoon. And that was a great job. I really loved what I did.
What a life.
And then one day I sat down with my friends at lunch and we said, we need to move. And then we did 6 of us picked up and we left and we moved to Huntington Beach, California. And I've been there ever since. And I love that place.
Cool place to live. Yeah, it is a very cool place to live.
Yes.
That's fantastic. So just another very small parallel. It's fall now. And so I'm in hibernation mode, or I'm getting ready for hibernation mode. Okay. And so I just downloaded this series of books that I forget what it's called, but there's like 6 of them and they're like 500 pages each. So I plan on reading that. But also the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, have not watched any of it, but I do plan on it. So I'm learning about the Mormons, girl.
I haven't watched it, so I don't know what it's all about, but I can only imagine. So in my head, Mormons were the same, not the same. They were adjacent to like the Amish and the Mennonite. That's what I thought in my head.
I've very quickly in 2 episodes learned that is not even close at all. They're not adjacent, not a parallel. Mm-hmm. They're 2 separate things.
Yes.
And the vanity and the perfection and the wanting to present so well is real in Salt Lake City.
It is.
And so that's the very little I'm learning about Utah.
I have to tell you, like, that was one of the things, you know, Huntington Beach is, everybody wears flip-flops, shorts, and a hoodie in the winter, right? Because that's all you need in California.
Right.
And when I came from Salt Lake to California, I had, like, you know, the perfect pair of jeans, the perfect shoes, the perfect jacket, like leather jacket that came, you know, with the name and all that stuff. And then I got to California, I was like, first of all, it's too hot to wear any of that. Second of all, I started eating too much and nothing fit. And third of all, it was like, forget it. Why not?
Yeah.
Shorts,
beach life.
Beach life, so good. Beach life is awesome.
So do you still have those same friends that you moved to Huntington Beach with?
So I am the last one standing in Huntington Beach. Yes.
Holding your ground.
Everybody, well, and I love it. And I don't plan on moving for quite a few reasons. And one of them is because of my complex son. Mm-hmm. But I stay in touch with, well, you know, not all of them. But I do stay in touch with a couple of them that moved down with me. They're still my girlfriends and we still talk. Yeah. And we had so much fun. Yeah. We just had so much fun. It was
Were they
incredible.
Also Mormon?
They were. They were. And I think that by the time we moved down here, we all kind of started like a separation a little bit from the Mormon church. Mm-hmm. I think we were already in our late 20s, early 30s when we went down. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, I don't know, when you're single, single women in the Mormon church don't really have a lot of room. There's no room for them. There's not. And I think that, and I don't know, I can't speak for it today because I'm not there. But back then, it was impossible. It was really hard. Yeah. And so I think we all kind of went our separate ways. Yeah. My family's still Mormon. My husband's family is Mormon. So we're around people. We just don't call ourselves Mormons anymore.
Right. So, there's also these moms apparently that are on TikTok and they make money and they're like the breadwinners for their Mormon families. And there's I think on Hulu it's coming out about them.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I haven't gotten TikTok. I think everybody keeps telling me you need to get into TikTok. And I'm like, do I really need to?
No.
Okay, because my son, that's all he wants to watch on my phone. And I have to take my phone away because the stuff he's watching on TikTok is not stuff that I want him to be watching. Of course,
yeah. You have to get the algorithm for a kid. But then if you're looking at it, then you're looking at kid stuff. And then, so that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it's laborious. It's definitely easier to make videos on TikTok than any other platform. But if you're trying to get yourself out there and be the face of whatever, and if you're going to, in my head now, of course, like in advertising, I'm like just trying to get my things. You have a lot of posts that are about like, oh, back to school. You could verbalize and perform those posts that you have on social media into a video. And so it wouldn't be difficult, but like if you wait till you have a bigger following, wait until there's a need for your actual face and your mouth to be saying the things that you're saying. So if there's a need for it, then go ahead. But if you're doing well with the posts on Facebook and Instagram, then keep it.
Well, I just need to find a good, like somebody to help me do all that stuff. I think that that's what I need to do.
Yeah. Intern vibes.
Yes.
So you were talking about you met your husband, and he's Mormon. And so did you meet him in California?
No, I actually met him in Rexburg, Idaho. Mm-hmm. My second year in college here in the U.S., and he was there also. It was his first year. I'm only 5 days older than he is, but I wasn't 1 year ahead.
Yeah.
in college. So we met. I was a dancer and he worked for the theater department.
Ooh.
And one night we were striking the set. Striking the set is when you're taking down the sets. It was this crazy because the dancers, we had our performance the next day. We flirted all night long. He never took my number. I was so mad at him. And we dated for a week and then we broke up and then just stayed in touch for many years. And we went our separate ways. And then about 14 years ago, he found me on Facebook and he was like, I haven't seen you in so long. You still look the same and all this stuff. So we started dating. Now we have 2 kids.
That's fantastic.
A dog.
A business.
So, yes.
Is he part of the business or is it Michelle's show?
No, it's a Michelle show. And we were just studying. I actually have a real day job. This is just my side thing for now that I hope that it gets into much bigger.
I also hope.
But yeah, thank you. But my day job, I do medical sales for a big orthopedic company in the United States. So I'm in the operating room a lot. I sell plates and screws and bone grafts and skin grafts and things like that. So I'm in the operating room all the time. And that's my real job. And then I do this. It's kind of been out of it's been my heart. It's once I decided that I was going to start helping other moms, things just came on, it just started happening. And it's been so fun. It's been so fun for me.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So it's like, this is the part where they say if you do what you love, you never have to work or whatever the hell.
Something
whatever.
Like that. I get
this is
you.
Giving the vibe. You know what I mean? Like when you get older and you don't want to be, maybe travel, like whatever. Your job, this is like the backup. But so when you're new to it, when you're new to being a parent and when you're new to realizing that your kid needs different kind of help than your regular doctor's going to give and he has these complexities, you need a resource. And so if you can get this resource where people go first instead of, the scammy places like Autism Speaks, which is a little suspect if you ask me, like if you do that, like you just have to push and keep creating it and pushing it in people's faces.
So you brought up a couple of points that if I could,
please
I would love to respond. One is, first of all, when you're going through this with your child, you don't even know that you're going through it yet, right? You just think that you are going crazy, that you're an awful parent because you do not know how to parent your child. And he's the one screaming, running around, and you can't go to a restaurant because he'll just scream or whatever. Or you start seeing the invitations from your friends kind of not happening anymore because you do have crazy, you do have a kid who is going to be a little different and all that kind of stuff.
100%.
So anyway, that is the one thing. And so you don't know. And so when you don't know, you have to at least understand. And this is the one thing, the very first thing. You are not crazy and you are not alone. And you're not a bad mom. You're not a bad mom. And then the other part that you brought up was your physician, your regular pediatrician or your regular physician. I remember taking my son in almost every week. And it got to a point that somebody in the office started saying things to my husband like, are you sure that she's not just making this stuff up and all this stuff? And I was like,
these bitches.
So you already doubt yourself, right? And then you have somebody from your pediatrician's office wondering if you are going crazy. And so can you just imagine how I went in a huge depression. Yeah. My son had already been born early. Like he was premature. He was in the NICU for 4 weeks. All of those things had already happened in my life. And here I am taking my son to who I need to be taken to get help from. And they're questioning, why am I there? Like, am I just making this crazy crap up, you know? So, and that is something that you got to remember, that a regular pediatrician is not going to be able to, like, they're not going to be able to help you. Yeah. I didn't get any help.
Yeah.
So after that, of course, we changed pediatricians, and the new pediatrician that we have, she actually uses me. She calls me. She goes, hey, I have a kiddo that came in and he just got diagnosed with this speech disorder. Who does he need to go see? So she calls me.
It's already working.
It is working.
In the same way that you're selling medical devices to hospitals and doctors, you can sell yourself and the knowledge that you have. You can have the allies of the doctors to get families so that you can be their resource.
Yes. I'm going there, girlfriend. I am.
Love to see it. Oh,
I'm getting it. So, yes.
I love a woman entrepreneur. So that's where I stand.
Yeah. And like I said, I just started this 4 months ago. So.
Okay, I didn't even realize.
It's brand new. It's brand new. And so for many years, I've already been resources to a lot of people. That's kind of why I went down this road. Because, I'm the one that people call, hey, I have a question about an IEP. My son needs speech therapy. Who's the best speech therapist in the area? Because I've been going to so-and-so and so, and it's not working. So, I've already been kind of a resource. And so that it was an easy step to just say, you know what? I'm putting myself out there and I'm going to do this. So anyway.
That's fantastic.
I talk too much.
No, you could never.
Sorry.
Never apologize for being yourself. Never, never, never. So I saw something. You were a speaker at an event.
I'm going to be.
Oh, Neurodiversity and Harmony.
That's the summit that we're going to have next week. So.
Oh, in Idaho. That's what I was like, Boise, random.
Yes.
It's not random for you. Empowered parenting. I don't know why, but I love the phrase, a summit for empowered parenting. Like, that's such a nice thing to say, I feel.
You know why? If you don't empower ourselves as parents, chicken with their heads cut off. That's what we are.
Yeah.
That's what we are most of the time. So we need to at least try. Yeah. And I think that that's empowering a parent. Trying to be better.
Trying. And learning. People kind of make a joke of like being a bad parent. Like, oh, I'm a bad parent. I sent my kid to school with Doritos or something. You know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, you don't have to call yourself a bad. Like, I have a thing with self-deprecation. I don't love it. You know what I mean? I mean, the listeners of this podcast are probably laughing because I am self-deprecating all the time with my own just imposter syndrome and self-diagnosing. Just, it's a mess. But I just like when people who are parents who try, when they say things like, oh yeah, I'm a bad, no, you're not. Be nice. Be nice to yourself.
We have to be nice to ourselves because our kids are not nice to us most of the time.
Yeah. And especially any parent who's looking for a summit or looking for a resource or looking for a support group, like, you're obviously not doing a bad job if you know that you want to do a good job.
Yes, exactly. So, and you can always learn. The worst is when you just sit there and you pretend, that you're the best parent ever, but you don't really, care to know what you need to know.
So now I want to get into just Michelle at home. Michelle, the lady. Michelle, not the mom, just because not all my listeners are moms. And so they're like, all right, cool, kid stuff. But also just because sometimes when you're a mom, that's all you are to people. And I super hate that because you're still a woman. So if your husband says there's a babysitter, a non-problematic babysitter, and you have no questions about it, let's go out and eat the meal that you want to eat. And you can just... It doesn't matter like where the restaurant is. It's just magically in this scenario, it's near your house. What restaurant are you going to?
So I love getting fancied up. And we went to, Oh my gosh, now I can't remember the name just because you asked me. Of course. It's what the Governor Newsom got caught during
a scandal.
French Laundry. Do you remember this?
I know what that is.
Yes. I went one time and it was the most magical night because we had to eat outside. It was kind of during COVID. Mm-hmm. So they had all this stuff outside and they had lights everywhere, and you sit down and they bring you champagne, and then they pair your wine with everything that you're eating. And I would love that. I love that. I love being pampered. Yes. I pamper myself. You're talking about being a woman, pamper myself all the time. And I want to be pampered. So yes, French Laundry would be it.
Oh, I love that. What's your go-to, like, 1 or 2 meals that you're making for the kids? Like, every week you know that they will be eating this.
Steak, because my 7-year-old daughter likes medium rare steaks.
Okay, girl. So we raised her right. I'm so glad.
Yes, we started her very early on this. Mm-hmm. My son is the pickiest eater, but he loves spaghetti. So we'll have steak and we'll have spaghetti every week in my house. And I also make soups almost every week because I can hide all the good stuff in the soup and they don't know that it's there.
No, it's chicken noodle, I swear. That's me with hamburgers. When I make my own hamburgers, I put like spinach and peppers and onions. And he's like, what's this stuff? And I'm like, shut up. That's what it is. It's seasoning.
Yes, it's delicious. Just keep eating.
Yeah, you just have to cut it up real small and then it gets small just by cooking. Scoop and eat. Eat that burger. Yes. Put some ketchup on it.
Eat up. Yep.
That's funny. Have you ever done karaoke?
Oh my, are you kidding?
I don't know.
Of course.
What? When you walk by a karaoke and you're like, oh, we're going to do that. What's the song in your head?
So I'm not a great singer. My family, I come from a family of musicians. I was the dancer. So I did not get that gene that came from my family.
Maybe you got it and you just haven't exercised it yet.
Maybe. But we just came back from Cancun a couple weeks ago, me and my family. We always do like this summer trip that we go for 1 week. I turn off my phone. I turn everything off. And it's just me, my husband, and the 2 kids. And so we went to Cancun, and they had a karaoke bar there. And we took the kids, and it was the best. But because I don't sing very often, and they did not have Brazilian music there, because had they had Brazilian music there, I would have sang a song called Exagerado by Cazuza. He's died many years ago, but he was like a rock and roll singer from Brazil. And so I would have sang that song because that's what I sing to my kids all the time when I'm putting them in bed. Yeah. And then one that I did sing, All of Me, because that's what I used to sing when I had my kids. Yes. When I had my babies, I would like hold them and dance with them in my arms. And that's the song that I loved. But yeah,
that's
those are
cute.
The 2 songs.
I was hoping to get like something super crazy and ratchet for your go-to.
RESPCP.
Yes.
Is that what you're thinking? Yes.
Something. I mean, mine is like a rap song.
What is it? I want to know.
A Millie by Lil Wayne. It's old. It's from like 2005 or 2006.
Love it.
But that is a bop. That and Marmalade, but like not the Supremes version, like the Christina Aguilera, Pink, and Lil Kim version. Oh,
that's a good one too.
Yeah. Well, because there's like different voices. So it's like, I'm not doing a very good job pretending to be Christina Aguilera, but in a second, it's going to be somebody else's voice. And just switch it up and be a rapper. That's so funny.
I like that.
And so I know that you have 2 kids and one of them is complex, but like, is there a go-to family restaurant that we're going to and bringing these kids that they can behave at?
Yes. Well, probably past 3 years has been when we've been able to go to restaurants. We actually didn't do movie theaters until about 3 years ago either. So
you made it.
We
it's
did.
Like getting over a hump.
Hey, let me tell you, you celebrate those wins like 100%. There's no tomorrow. So we have 2 restaurants the kids will go to like anytime and they love it. The first one, it's like a Benihana type restaurant. It's like the teppanyaki. It's called Shima. It's right by our house. It's like 2 blocks away. And that's like probably their most requested restaurant. The other one,
the danger of getting cooked in front of.
I think that it was a lot more fun for them the first couple times that we went there. Now they just kind of sit there and the guy just kind of goes through the motions and we just eat the food, right?
Right. It's like, all right, get the volcano off the fire.
Yes.
Cool. The egg.
Choo-choo train. Yes.
Right.
They still love going there, and it's delicious food, and it's fresh, and I love it. So we go there. The other one is for my son, which is Olive Garden, because they have really good spaghetti. So, I mean, that's what we do.
Mine loves spaghetti. That's his favorite. He loves pizza. He loves burgers. But when I mention a spaghetti and meatball situation, he is like, I'll take that one, thanks.
Yes.
The way I don't like pasta, I don't like tomatoes. I don't like tomato sauce.
Oh my gosh. How do you do pasta?
Don't.
Okay, well.
I'm not interested. Obviously for him, I need to cook him food that he's going to eat. And so do make, a spaghetti variation with red sauce at my house and, the ground turkey, again, with the spinach in it. And you just chop it up real small and he doesn't even know about it because he's inhaling it.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep saying, we should take him to Olive Garden. He would love it. It's breadsticks. He does eat salad, most of the time. The spaghetti, what a fantastic... He likes chicken noodle soup. That's his jam. It's all of his foods.
Check.
And I just haven't taken it. I don't know, maybe...
You're going to go this week. You're going to go this week, and you're going to come back, and you're going to tell me. You're going to message me and go, we just went there.
Listen.
Yes.
I mean,
I don't think we're going back.
Right. I do love an Alfredo situation, but I just know that Alfredo's not real. It's just milk. And
Parmesan cheese.
Yeah. And there are other things I can do better with. I'd rather waste my calories on dessert than on a fake Alfredo.
They have to die for donut. I don't know what they're called. They're these little donuts.
Uh-huh.
And you get, I don't know how many you get, but they come with the chocolate sauce or the raspberry sauce. And then you dip them.
I want that.
I'll
only go with him. I'm not going to go by myself.
Okay. Well,
there's another place, Carrabba's, that I remember going to. I'm not going anywhere really for pasta. I feel like it's overpriced.
I've heard about Carrabba's, never been.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be an elevated, because it was kind of expensive. It's an elevated Olive Garden. It's not I feel like they're not advertising families in the way that Olive Garden is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm going to have a whole podcast with a couple of my friends discussing all the restaurants because I need to know about the ones I haven't gone to.
Oh, I don't live by you, so it might be different. But I was going to say, I would totally give you all the tips and tricks in
all the recommendations.
Orange County. Yes, in Orange County, California. Yes.
Listen, I might plan a trip if you say there's something delicious.
Oh my gosh, we have awesome restaurants.
I'm sure. I see them on TV all the time. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up.
Yes.
So if people are looking for you, you have a website for Collective Wisdom for Complex Kids.
Yes.
Real quick with your website, kind of I don't know, I guess a mission statement kind of vibe. There was something that said, if you're following the steps that you have all of the downloads for parents with complex kids, you're going to gain connection with other moms, peace of mind, guidance on where to start, tenacity, and reprioritization. So many syllables. And
it's a good word, isn't it?
It is. It's SAT words. And so I loved this list. I copied and pasted it into my notes. I love that you're thinking about it. This whole vibe of creating a space for people, not just moms, but, parents in general. I love all these things. And I'm just if I'm a mom, I mean, even if you're just a mom of someone who's not neurodiverse, these are still all things that people would want. And so creating this network is so fantastic. I'm so obsessed with the whole idea.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, that's what we need. We need more connections in our lives. Mm-hmm. I feel like
meaningful connections.
Meaningful connections, not just on your phone, not just, you need people. We, human beings, we need people. Yeah. And we need that village, no matter what it is and what you're going through in your life. You need a village.
Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your time in Las Vegas, lady.
Thank you. We're leaving here in a minute. We got to get back to the real life. So, I know, but I have to tell you, I wish you lived out here because I think we would totally be friends.
Yes.
And so, if you ever come out to California, we're going to have to go and I'll take you to one of my favorite restaurants here. I got many of them, but I'll think about it.
And all right, I'm going to go book my flight right now.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. See ya.
Why can't I tell you I love you? You get all bent out of shape.
I don't.
You do. I just did.
I love you.
Well.
So, you guys, how cool is Michelle?
Super cool.
We have a friend in Orange County.
Orange.
Who are we?
Is that California? Oh, yeah, she's from California.
Yeah, Huntington Beach, here I come. Hang out with Michelle.
You really need to speak up into that microphone.
I'm speaking up into the microphone.
No, you were just doing this. And the microphone.
Well, I want to delete everything that just happened.
Yeah, obviously.
We have a friend in Orange County.
So much fun.
I
that
know.
Was a fun one to edit.
Let's go to California.
Absolutely.
Huntington Beach, here we come. Surf's up, dude.
Place where Ryan can just be himself too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly.
There was a lot of stuff that hit close to home for me. And
I'm sure there was,
trying to get your kid diagnosed.
I mean, I only know secondhand, or maybe it's third hand, I don't know, from hearing stuff about you and having to sue the school district and all the stuff you guys went through. So I was like, oh my God, good thing this lady exists.
Ryan was diagnosed by a dental nurse.
Not a dental nurse.
Yeah, because of the way he was acting. Because we couldn't get him to brush his teeth. We couldn't brush his teeth, and his teeth were rotting out of his head.
Aye.
So he had to go in for dental surgery.
Mm-hmm. As a kid? As a baby?
As a baby, three. No, it had to be older than that. They were baby teeth, though.
Yeah. I always see little babies with silver teeth.
Yeah, steel teeth.
And I'm like, that's who's gonna fall out. Who cares?
There's something about the next one coming in straight.
That's so weird. I remember my cousin Melina having one and being like, "Oh, so you got scammed by a dentist?"
Yeah, I was surprised myself the way it all worked, but they have a stuff that is supposed to calm you down before they put you under anesthetic, and it had absolutely no effect on Ryan.
Oh my God, like a ginger and anesthesia.
Basically, and his mother's a ginger.
Yeah.
So we were out in the waiting room kind of because they told us to.
Yeah.
Well, we were just waiting for the surgery and all that.
Right.
And nurse came out and just started talking to us, and she handed us a card for a company called Elwyn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's how we got diagnosed.
That's wild.
But we didn't know Elwyn.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I know it just because I knew people that worked there from work.
And we had we couldn't afford the internet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All of our research was at the library or asking around. So we were counting on the school district to kind of have some kind of resource to point us to.
Yeah, and they did not.
But there's
2005. Who knew?
Oh yeah. It was terrible.
Philadelphia 2005 was a rough time.
No, but I mean, I remember going to the doctor with him, just talk about behavior and how kids are different, complex kids. He had a pustule of infection in his lung.
Oh my God.
We're screaming, we didn't know this yet, but we're screaming at doctors saying he's sick. And because he's still kind of bouncing off the walls. Mm-hmm. They're looking at him. They're like, no, he's fine. He's
fine. Oh, my God. So when Michelle said the thing about the doctors being like, are you sure?
Yeah. No. They actually took x-rays because Heather would not leave without x-rays. Mm-hmm. Once they took the x-rays, they sent us home.
And then they get developed.
And a phone call comes,
mm-hmm.
and there was talk of Child Protective Services because how could we let this get so bad?
These MFs.
And so while we're admitting our son into an infectious disease unit where he's being
mm-hmm.
quarantined.
Mm-hmm. At 3 years old.
Yeah, because that might be tuberculosis. They don't know.
Right.
They don't know what it is.
Oh my God. Do you remember that episode of Chicago where she had tuberculosis?
They really thought he had TB.
Oh my God.
He still has, every infection makes a scar. He still has a scar on his lung. But yeah, no, we had to go in while admitting him and literally scream at people, bring all of the, because
the evidence, like the receipts.
That's the thing is they had it was welfare doctor. We didn't have insurance. It was it was the welfare doctor. So it was the local hospital.
Right.
The local hospital had a clinic in the basement, right? And we kept taking the kid to the clinic. And then when we were admitting him to that hospital, we were like, no, doctor, Dr. So-and-so said he was fine. Dr. This, and we demanded x-rays is the only reason there are x-rays.
Right.
And, we got him to back off. But that was dealing with doctors, dealing with the school, that when you have a kid like this, dealing with all of the institutions that are supposed to be sacred, that are supposed to be there to help you.
Literally. Public services.
Yes. Our fucking heroes on the front line. Let me tell you something, how little respect I have for teachers and people that work in fucking hospitals.
Ooh.
As far as that frontline bullshit.
Red flag from some
It is
listeners.
Yeah, I don't care.
I mean, listen, I feel like Philadelphia is such a different place. I've worked with people, I've done business with people who work even at Elwyn, and just Philadelphia is a group of aggressive people, and I'm not trying to be general. There are fantastic people in schools, and there are fantastic people working for the city.
But going to school for a very long time does not negate the fact that you are a piece of shit.
Anyways, I don't want to.
You know what I mean?
I don't want to get mean. We're trying to be in a
I'm sorry. You got me talking about.
I know. It's back in the day. We're at a different place.
I know,
Brian
but I'm
got
still.
The care he needed.
Did he?
You advocated.
I mean, he's. Listen, there's been. I love the boy I have, but did he get everything he needed?
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, he seems to be getting a lot of what he needs right now.
Yeah.
So.
No, I get that. The point is going head to head with these people who think that they know better than you about your child. It gets, I just think if there are teachers, administrators, hospital workers, nurses, whatever, maybe have a little bit more patience with people,
Yeah. And also the girls who answer the phone at any doctor's office. You guys can be more nice.
Yeah.
But this is the third time we've mentioned it on this podcast.
Yeah.
So I guess we owe Ryan a trip to Olive Garden.
I feel like we do.
Yeah. I know that he's not been, because I showed him the logo and he said that he's not been to there.
Now, I know for a fact that you hate Olive Garden.
I do.
And I think that's where I want to go for dinner tonight.
Stop.
Just
we don't even have Ryan.
I know, but just like a preview of what we're in for.
Okay, so listen. When we go to dinner with Ryan, it's usually an early dinner or a very, very late dinner. Because we're a late people. We're European. We eat dinner at 9 p.m. But sometimes we go early. So in my head, I was like, okay, so if we go to Olive Garden at 4 or 5, I'll just get a salad. And then I'll have second dinner at home. I don't want to go there for real dinner today.
No, I got you.
I'm just not a pasta.
Right. Olive Garden workers, too. They piss me off.
Well, we're
condescending pricks.
We're going in a positive direction.
Oh.
So, guys, I know that people try to get beach bodies in the winter, but I'm just trying to get a comfortable body in the fall. So I bought an infinity hoop.
From
TikTok.
You've been doing stuff
hooping
with it. Yeah,
I've been hooping for 3 days now.
You're a hooper.
I'm a big old hooper. So I've been doing it for 3 days. I'm only doing 10 minutes a day because I'm still trying to figure it out. You kind of like have to march
to the beat of your own drum.
And so it's just weird because like on the advertisements they talk about like, oh, it's good on your knees, and I'm like, is it?
You and
but it's fine. It's just it's movement. And so that's all I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to get my watch up. You guys want to follow me on Apple Watch? Let me know.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
You can follow each other on Apple Watch?
Babe. I follow Steph Mello and Nana and what's this girl's name? This girl from Bob's.
What piece of information makes a difference in your life about somebody else's health tracker?
No, it's encouragement because you can like do a challenge with somebody, or if you're petty, you can be like, oh hell no, this bitch didn't already reach her workout goal and it's only 6 a.m. or like something like that. It's just fun. Farah, I follow Farah. I follow Steph Mello, who hasn't worn her watch in a while. I follow my Aunt Ruthie Tuti, and then Nina, who doesn't have it. So it's basically just me and Nanner Banana. Wow. And they give you like, they tells you like Shanana won an award for September. And she had closed all her rings this day. It's just like a fun thing.
Well, that's fantastic.
I want to cut out half of that.
We're going to cut out most of what we said.
Yeah.
It's all right.
What's happening with you?
With me?
Yeah.
Well, on the Media Virus podcast last night, we interviewed
Colleen
Anderson Prendergast. I've been saying Pendergast. It is Prendergast.
Yeah. So listen, there's this Halloween spoopy, and it's called Croydon Haunted Hallows. And the way I'm obsessed.
Oh, they're fantastic.
It's her house, and it's all outside of her house, and you're basically just walking in a maze around her house, and there's all the spoops. And Matt's brother has a section of outside. The theme this year is they're not allowed to say it, but freak show.
Sinister Circus.
Sinister Circus.
And that's a dig to some neighbors.
Yes.
Which I found fascinating.
But
that such pieces of shit live next to her.
Just in the same vein as this episode talking about complex kids, they do a sensory friendly an hour before it gets dark so that you can go through with your kids, your sensory friendly people. Or just if you're, a fraidy cat like me and you're just afraid of...
I have a feeling we're going to be taking a walk through the sensory friendly first.
Heck yeah, me and Ryan will wait outside for you guys. I went last year and I was so scared. There was just people like following me, and like there's the guy who like goes and like you don't even feel him, but then he's like talking in your ear. Ugh! Ew, I'll throw up right now. It was so much. But yeah, it's in Croydon, guys, and they're going to do it. I know that this is very early, and I know that most of our listeners are in Boston, but for any of our Philadelphia listeners, we're going probably on both days, on Sunday, and then on actual Halloween, which I believe is on Tuesday. So whoever wants to come with us, we'll go at dusk. We'll go the last half of the hour for the sensory friendly, and then we'll probably be there for a couple hours just hanging out, getting some content.
Yeah.
So Halloween. I know it's the first week of October, but we're Halloweeners. Ooh, today I went to Michael's. Basically, we're the type of people that Halloween is when they put out all of our home decor.
Yes.
And so we only have a month or two to purchase things to decorate our home.
Decorate the house. Absolutely.
And so today I went to Michael's and I got some stuff, and I have some stuff that's like in mind for, when it's a little bit cheaper.
Well, the clearance section is like in November.
Well, it's 50% off right now. So I feel like week of Thanksgiving, of Halloween, it'll be a lot cheaper. So that's an exciting thing. I got a velvet heart-shaped pillow that says, "Will you rot with me?" Because me and Matt are so romantic.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to eat.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you, mean it. We have a friend in Orange County.
So much fun.
That
was a fun one to edit.
Let's go to California.
Absolutely.
Huntington Beach, here we come. Surf's up, dude.
Place where Ryan can just be himself too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly.
There was a lot of stuff that hit close to home for me. And
I'm sure there was,
trying to get your kid diagnosed. You know?
I mean, I only know, like, secondhand, maybe it's third hand, I don't know, from, like, hearing stuff about you and having to, like, sue the school district and all the stuff you guys went through. So I was like, oh my God, good thing this lady exists.
Ryan was diagnosed by a dental nurse.
Not a dental nurse.
Yeah, because of the way he was acting. So he had to go in for, like, dental surgery.
Mm-hmm. As a kid? As a baby?
As a like three. No, it had to be older than that. They were baby teeth, though.
Yeah. I always see, like, little babies with, like, silver teeth.
Yeah, steel teeth.
And I'm like, that's who's going to fall out. Who cares?
There's something about the next one coming in straight.
That's so weird. I remember my cousin Melina having one and being like, oh, so you got scammed by a dentist?
Yeah. I was surprised myself the way it all worked. They have a stuff that is supposed to, like, calm you down before they put you under anesthetic. Mm-hmm. And it had absolutely no effect on Ryan.
Oh my God. Like a ginger and anesthesia.
Basically. And, you know, his mother's a ginger.
Yeah.
You know, so we were out in the waiting room kind of, you know, nurse came out and just started talking to us, and she handed us a card for a company called Elwin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's how we got diagnosed.
That's wild.
You know, and we had, like, we couldn't afford, like, the internet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, all of our research was, like, at the library or
mm-hmm.
asking around. So we were counting on the school district to kind of have some kind of resource to point us to.
Yeah, and they did not.
It was terrible.
Philadelphia 2005 was a rough time.
No, but I mean, I remember going to the doctor, you know, just talk about behavior and, you know, how kids are different, complex kids. He had a pustule of infection in his lung.
Oh my God.
We're screaming, like, we didn't know this yet, but we're screaming at doctors saying he's sick. And because he's still kind of bouncing off the walls, mm-hmm. they're looking at him and they're like, no, he's fine.
He's fine. Oh my God. So when Michelle said the thing about the doctors being like, are you sure?
Yeah. They actually took x-rays mm-hmm. because Heather would not leave without x-rays. Mm-hmm. Once they took the x-rays, mm-hmm. they sent us home.
And then they get developed.
And a phone call comes, mm-hmm. and there was talk of Child Protective Services, because how could we let this get so bad?
These MFs.
And so while we're admitting our son into an infectious disease unit where he's being mm-hmm. quarantined.
Mm-hmm. At 3 years old.
Yeah, because that might be tuberculosis. They don't know. Right. They don't know what it is.
Oh my God. Do you remember that episode of Chicago where she had tuberculosis?
They really thought he had TB.
Oh my God.
He still has, you know, every infection makes a scar. He still has a scar on his lung. Mm. But yeah, no, we had to go in while admitting him and literally scream at people. Mm-hmm. We were like, no, doctor, Dr. So-and-so said he was fine. Doctor this, you know, and we demanded x-rays is the only reason there are x-rays.
Right.
And, you know, we got him to back off. But that's dealing with doctors, dealing with the school, that when you have a kid like this, mm-hmm. dealing with all of the institutions that are supposed to be sacred, mm-hmm. that are supposed to be there to help you.
Literally. Public services.
Yes. The point is going head to head with these people mm-hmm. who think that they know better than you about your child. I just think if there are teachers, administrators, hospital workers, nurses, whatever, mm-hmm. maybe have a little bit more patience with people.
Yeah. And also the girls who answer the phone at any doctor's office. You guys can be more nice.
Yeah.
But this is the third time we've mentioned it on this podcast.
Yeah.
So I guess we owe Ryan a trip to Olive Garden.
I feel like we do.
Yeah. I know that he's not been, because I showed him the logo and he said that he's not been to there.
Now, I know for a fact that you hate Olive Garden.
I do.
And I think that's where I want to go for dinner tonight.
Stop. We don't even have Ryan.
I know, but just like a preview, what we're in for. No, I got you.
I'm just not a pasta.
Right. Olive Garden workers, too. They piss me off. Those condescending pricks.
We're going in a positive direction.
Oh.
So, guys, I know that people try to get beach bodies in the winter, but I'm just trying to get a comfortable body in the fall. So I bought an infinity hoop. From TikTok.
You've been doing stuff
hooping
with it. Yeah.
I've been hooping for 3 days now.
You're a hooper.
I'm a big old hooper. So I've been doing it for 3 days. I'm only doing 10 minutes a day because I'm still trying to figure it out. You kind of like have to march
to the beat of your own drum.
And so it's just weird because like on the advertisements, they talk about like, oh, it's good on your knees. And I'm like, is it? It's movement. And so that's all I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to get my watch up. You guys want to follow me on Apple Watch?
Well, that's fantastic.
What's happening with you?
Well, on the Mediavirus podcast last night, we interviewed
Colleen
Anderson Prendergast.
So listen, there's this Halloween spoopy, and it's called Croydon Haunted Hallows. And the way I'm obsessed.
Oh, they're fantastic.
It's her house, and it's all outside of her house, and you're basically just walking in a maze around her house, and there's all the spoops. And Matt's brother has a section of outside. The theme this year is
Sinister Circus.
Sinister Circus.
And that's a dig to some neighbors.
Yes.
Which I found fascinating.
But
that such pieces of shit live next to her.
But just in the same vein as this episode talking about complex kids, they do a sensory friendly an hour before it gets dark so that you can go through with your kids, your sensory friendly people. Or just if you're, a fraidy cat like me and you're just afraid of...
I have a feeling we're going to be taking a walk through the sensory friendly first.
Heck yeah, me and Ryan will wait outside for you guys. I went last year and I was so scared. There was just people like following me, and like there's the guy who like goes and like you don't even feel him, but then he's like talking in your ear. Ew, I'll throw up right now. It was so much. But yeah, it's in Croydon, guys, and they're going to do it. I know that this is very early, and I know that most of our listeners are in Boston, but for any of our Philadelphia listeners, we're going probably on both days, on Sunday, and then on actual Halloween, which I believe is on Tuesday. So whoever wants to come with us, we'll go at dusk. We'll go the last half of the hour for the sensory friendly, and then we'll probably be there for a couple hours just hanging out. So Halloween. I know it's the first week of October, but... we're Halloweeners. Ooh, today I went to Michael's. Basically, we're the type of people that Halloween is when they put out all of our home decor.
Yes.
And so we only have a month or two to purchase things to decorate our home.
Decorate the house. Absolutely.
And so today I went to Michael's and I got some stuff, and I have some stuff that's like in mind for, when it's a little bit cheaper.
Well, the clearance section is like in November.
Well, it's 50% off right now, so I feel like week of Thanksgiving, of Halloween, it'll be a lot cheaper. All right, we're gonna go to eat.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you, mean it.